beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to another Ascension update with me. Today is the first day of the new energetic month of November, and this day I'm already recording the, as you know, my energy updates that frequently come out each month and each cycles of certain gateways and so. I'm focusing on that as well today. It's a beautiful day. Recently there was a new influx of light, and I'm sure you felt it. It's really important to say that the solar codes that we're receiving from the sun, which is connected with the sun of all suns, are the divine father light, and the moon alignments and certain gateways, as we call them, certain portals, these are divine mother energy alignments. So together we need the balance of both, and this is how with each cycle and with each influx we get an integration of both polarities within us, and as we grow in our own oneness. So today, in this update, and during all this change that's happening for us, I'm really guided to talk about being devoted to spirit, so our loyalty to spirit. As you know, once you start to walk your unique personal ascension journey, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to start changing for you, and that's all natural. There's nothing to be afraid about here. With this change, and with your focus and devotion to ascension, there's going to be changes that are just naturally going to be a part of your life. And the most important thing here is that sometimes we've held certain loyalties, let's say to certain souls that we had agreements with, and we were exchanging a lot of our energy with. And for some of us, it felt, maybe even for some of you, that these people were a part of your life, like since forever. And they felt very familiar, very comfortable to you, not just people, situations, and maybe certain devotions or jobs you've had. And they felt so familiar. But remember that once you start to actually gather all your rainbow particles and to really walk in your white ascension column of the mother flame, and I made this video, go check that out. This is a predecessor to this video. Then you're really going to see that you're just naturally being pulled to something greater than yourself. Recently I was reading again something in Dolores's books about a path of Jesus as it was revealed through a certain hypnosis, hypnotic regression. And there was such a beautiful energy of truth coming from there that I was really humbled, and it reminded me of my own path and how I share and how I deliver the messages, because it was really something that's just always been known to me in my own knowing. And this loyalty, this faith that you have for this higher path, for this calling, was really beautifully expressed by this individual who was sharing in regression. And she was just saying how this was her full commitment, and she wanted nothing else. Nothing else could fulfill her. She was so committed to this path, even as a little girl she knew and felt that, and she wanted to walk with him and wanted to be a part of that, to bring light to those who are not yet in the knowing of the light, who have forgotten and who maybe have fallen ill and things like that. So she knew that she had to make certain sacrifices for that, because she always heard the voice of God and she knew it, and as she was growing up, it was strengthening, it was getting stronger. And he took her in this pilgrimage, and he knew that during what she's going to experience, it will be more strengthened in her, whether that's true, that voice, or whether it's just, a desire of the ego. Because when we have egoic desires, we very quickly get bored of it. We want something, but then we don't want it. There's no devotion there. We lack our true dedication for that. So when it is true, when it's really God calling, our God spark, our divine spark, and what's a path of worldly service, and if it's something so unique to you that you wish to give to the greater whole, and this becomes the core essence in your life, you will know it. And there's going to be spirit initiations and challenges always as a part of that, but our loyalties always come to spirit first. So I want to give you some examples as in how you're really being loyal to spirit, because you're honoring the voice inside of you that won't be changing. That's not like frivolous, one day you want it, the next day you don't. Or you want something, but you're never really taking the conscious steps. So another thing is when you're engaged with other people who you've changed so much, you're in this ascension path, And then maybe there's some people in your life that are your friends, companions, whoever they are. It doesn't matter. It's not about the energy description. It's more about the love you came here to share for the truth. And sometimes you feel they just no longer walk that path, or maybe they never did. You just really wanted them to. A lot of people I see, they so badly want their friends to really start feeling that same bliss and magic, and when they feel it and they see others don't, and they see that maybe they can't convince them into this, because it's a soul-based choice. And in the end, this journey will be so unique, it's so individual, and it's the inner magic that really holds the essence of all the questions being answered by our spirit self. And it's just something that can never be fully put into words, and that was also described in the book. There's some things you can never word out in that manner. And when you really feel that that's that grace of your being truly calling you forth, none of the decisions that you will make, even if they feel like sacrifices sometimes, will feel difficult for you. And that's how it was for this person in the book. She said, I know this is my calling. I know there's going to be some things I will sacrifice, but it's not hard for me because it's the only thing that really fulfills me. So when you'll be following that self-fulfillment feeling, you know that you're being loyal to something greater than your human self. So basically, it's still your human self, but a grander, much grander version of it. Your expanded, your ascending version of your human self. And to be loyal to that spirit, to really honor that voice speaks beyond just your own desires. Let's say you have a desire to travel, to experience, to find pleasure in life in certain ways, and that's it, period, and that's where it ends. This is just really one small percentage of the journey on this earth. When you're service to others' soul, you really know that you've already experienced all of that, and you can still experience that while simultaneously always putting your focus first to sharing the truth of one, to really helping others to see that truth too in a way that it's unique to you. And this devotion to spirit will always come first. As it was also shared in the book, it's something really important that's happened to everybody who's walking the path of truth, is that a lot of times you will be tested by other forces, by the external. And in the book it was shared how he was also often challenged by others, and there was even infiltrators that came, or artificially they placed somebody there to spread lies just so they would kind of made him the black sheep, or made him kind of seem that he's not talking the truth. And he was so knowing, he was so in source, that he always found that out. He always exposed what was really being shared there, and he brought the truth out. So that's really important. When you're loyal to spirit, everything will be revealed to you. And even if something feels difficult, like maybe letting a friend in your life go and they've been there really for the long term, it really doesn't always have to deal with how good somebody has been for you, how much they brought you, because it's not about that. Ascension is, I'm telling you so much, it's not about whether you're being good or bad. It's, for example, this girl, she left her whole family behind and went on this pilgrimage and went on this purpose that was something totally different. And she wasn't thinking, gosh, I have to stay with my family because they raised me or they're so good to me. She was only knowing that there's also other souls who was there, who she felt needed her calling, and that her calling is important. So when you start trusting your calling of the truth in your own unique way, you know it is so important. You know it will touch lives more profoundly than just by you holding a loyalty to maybe just one friend and giving all your energy for them. Because I know that a lot of light workers, people who really devote their love energy, their love flow to a lot of personal friends and companions, sometimes they just so narrow down their influence that they can have, that they lose track of how important they really are when they expand, when they allow themselves to maybe touch the lives of many, many other more souls. So the thing is that when you really begin to be more loyal to spirit, you won't see things so much personally as, oh, I owe this friend this much because this and that was exchanged, or any other certain way. When you really know that it's a loyalty that comes from spirit, it will be calling so great that none of that will be stronger than that calling. And that strength really comes from spirit. Only spirit speaks so loudly, and beyond these personal attachments we might hold, or evaluations, because the mind likes to evaluate and says, well, this isn't supposed to be that because of this and that. Well, the soul just knows. It's a calling, it's a knowing, and it really just pushes you forward in a way that is beyond words. So if you're being called to something greater and you know that because of that maybe something else will need to be sacrificed, it's not really a sacrifice that will bring something negative out of it. It will actually bring you more fulfillment. And when you're working for the light of one, you know that that self-fulfillment will be self-realization, which will benefit the whole, not just you. It won't be just for you, reaching your personal goals, doing the checklist, and that's it. It will be something that will cause you to expand in a way to embrace others with your cosmic heart expansion, and your heart will be so wide, so open, so warm. And it doesn't mean you won't still have, regain that connection with those people that were once really close to you. You can always remain that intimacy and closeness, but your focus maybe will shift, because a lot of souls who are now in this ascension cycle, their focus is really shifting, and maybe a lot of them are afraid to really let go of something that was known to them before. But as you know, there's souls who are not choosing that yet, who are not choosing to serve the whole, to really embrace their gifts in a way to be of greater service to the law of one. And we still can have love for these souls. We can still interact with them. We can still communicate. We can be, really much in oneness without giving our loyalty just to that. Overall, the loyalty of spirit, the loyalty to spirit needs to come first. Somehow this message really wanted to come through today as I was walking. I usually have these beautiful weekends now, just coming to this spot, and there's a little buggy climbing there on my jacket. And bugs, they always represent that determination, perseverance, and stamina, because they just keep going and they keep going. And you often ask yourself, why don't they just use their wings? Because they can fly. All of the bugs can actually fly. And you say, why are they so pushing it? Why are they walking? They could just expand their wings and fly. And usually when they come, if you've noticed and been observing a bug, when they come to their destination, they take a while, they look around, and then they spread their wings and fly. It's because they symbolize that sometimes you need to take the pilgrimage. Sometimes you need to take a path of that will give you more experience, that will give you more self-empowerment, because then you will be able to use those resources to know how to act. You will know both to fly, and you will know both to walk, and you will know that both gifts are important, and you will discern between when to use each of them. So this is for me what they represent. They can climb, and when they climb, they explore. If you just fly, you see everything from a higher perspective, which is really important. But when they climb, they also see a lot of things on the way that they wouldn't if they would just be flying. So this is the message that this little guy gave me. And when I'm observing them, I'm often noticing that. So when we really, really are loyal to that path, determined, perseverant, sometimes we'll have to pick a road that won't be maybe so easy. But when you will embrace it, the moment you will embrace it and say, it's just how I feel, it's okay. I don't need a reason. I don't need to explain, to give it a validation, to analyze it. I don't need to defend myself or what it's driving me. I just know. And the moment you allow yourself to just embrace that truth, take a deep breath, embrace your new path, embrace your pilgrimage and devotion to the greater truth of all, of one, then everything else will take care of itself naturally. It's faith. It's what it is. When you really have true faith, everything else will align. So, me and this little bugger still here are sending you warm greetings from our sacred mountain space. As always, so much love, wisdom, and power, and I'll talk to you again soon as guided. Take care. Lots of love. Bye. Hey guys, you probably can't see it pretty well, but this is all crystalline rock. It's beautiful. White, shiny, just found it, and it's so perfect. I just know my camera can't really get it into perspective, but yeah, this rock, as you can see, as it comes down here, this part, it's beautiful, white, crystalline. It's amazing, and I wanted to show you how it looks when you literally feel it and see it in the mountains, and it's so pure. And off I go. Take care. Bye bye.